Welcome to DownWithThat.Life, Episode 3. DownWithThat.Life is an online community for parents, siblings, and caregivers of adults with Down syndrome, where our purpose is building relationships, living in community, providing support, and sharing hope. Welcome to episode number 3 of DownWithThat.Life. I'm so glad that you came back. Listen, we're going to continue on our story, our journey. If you haven't had a chance to listen to episodes 1 and 2, I really highly recommend it. It only takes a few minutes, but I want to bring you up to speed. Where I left off in episode number 2 was the fact that we had just moved to Georgia and Josh was given the prognosis that he had to have open heart surgery immediately. We didn't think it was going to make that big a difference, but they said, you know what, you're going to notice the difference. And to be honest with you, after he had the surgery, we really did. But it was a very difficult season for my wife, Cindy, and I, to be quite honest with you. She was pregnant with our second son, Jonathan, who was about to be born. And we're away from family. We're at a new church home. We've got this little baby who's so precious to us. And here we are together at the hospital. And I still remember very vividly having to give Josh over to the anesthesiologist. They gave him some oral medication that was supposed to sedate him a little bit to get ready for the process. Well, in Josh's case, it was the exact opposite. He was like wrestling a bear. This 2-year-old kid had amazing strength, and we were struggling for probably 20, 25 minutes before the anesthesiologist came, and then finally gave him to the anesthesiologist, and we cried as we watched him walk off into the surgery room. And I don't remember how long it took. It seemed like eternity, but it was probably just a few hours. They cracked Josh's chest open and performed open heart surgery. Years later, all the cardiologists that looked at his x-rays marveled at how great the repair was. And you know what? We really did notice a difference in his activity level. But I'm getting ahead of myself. As Josh was recuperating, one of the most difficult things in our life was to walk into that recovery room to see our little boy strapped down with just a diaper on to a table. He had tubes in every possible portion of his body. He was intubated and just looked like the most pitiful thing you had ever seen. And as tough as that was to see it, it was even tougher when they began to wean him off of the anesthesia. And without saying a word, because he couldn't. One, he couldn't talk. Two, he was intubated, but he just looked at me, and I could hear him with our eyes connecting. He said, "Dad, please, 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 pick me up and take me out of here." And I got to be honest with you, the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life was to walk away from my son, knowing that I couldn't rescue him at that moment, because if I did, I would have done irreparable damage to him and his future. I don't know if you've ever had to do a hard thing like that, but it's something that will shape your life. Well, the good news is that he had a speedy recovery. He was the darling of the ward. The nurses loved him. We would ride him around in a little wagon. His energy level was way up, and he was excited about a baby brother coming that he would be able to take care of and do life together with. DownWithThat.Life is an online community for parents, siblings, and caregivers of adults with Down syndrome, where our purpose is building relationships, living in community, providing support, and sharing hope.